Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I know it's been 2 days. I know, I need to get over the defeat. I actually have. I've got over the loss at the Molineux on Saturday for two reasons in particular. The first reason is we've got the game on Thursday now against Rapid Vienna. If we win, we finish top of the Europa League group stage. We guaranteed a place in the last 16 of the competition. That's a fantastic achievement for West Ham, especially with a game to spare as well. So that's the one benefit with games in quick succession. You can move on to the next one. Obviously, if you're down the bottom of the table, if you're Newcastle United, you're probably dreading the next game. You're wishing it was ages away. But when you're generally doing as well as West Ham, you can't wait for the next one. I already can't wait for Thursday, and I think that helps. But the second one, and this is the more important one, it was a bad day at the office for West Ham. I said in the review, it's a bit of the old West Ham we've seen on Saturday, and that was very unlike us. And I'm willing to sort of chalk it off as a bad day at the office. However, I think you're a bit naive if you just say that about the whole performance. You go, oh well, we'll forget everything. Anything bad in the game, we'll forget about it. It won't happen again. Because I think there's one or two things you can take from the game. One or two talking points, which is the point of this video, to discuss and to think about going forward. But Saturday was the first game this season I felt we deserved to lose. I thought Wolves deserved the win. They got the win. And you can't really have any complaints about it, and I guess that helps as well, doesn't it? There's no sort of sucker punch to the stomach feeling that there's bad luck in it or that. We weren't very good, and Wolves were good. I don't want to be that fan that says we only got beat because we played badly, although there is an element of that to it. However, I hate it. You know, I'm sure you guys do as well. Whenever West Ham win a game, say Liverpool a couple of weeks ago, the only reason West Ham won is because Liverpool played badly. It's a bit patronising, isn't it? So Wolves deserved the win. I thought they had the better chances. I thought they had more chances. I thought they had the best player on the pitch in Ruben Neves by a mile. I thought he was immense. The home support was fantastic. The safe standing stand behind the goal were really, really loud for large parts of the game. Even at 0-0, I thought they got behind their team really good. Anyway, that's enough of the Wolves place done, over and done with. Time to talk about the West Ham parts. Now, there's three talking points I've got coming up. The good, the bad and ugly. Antonio, Lanzini, centre-backs. You can decide which is the good, the bad and the ugly for yourselves. But let's take the centre-back pairing first, because obviously Ogbonna's got injured, and since I've done any videos since, David Moyes has confirmed he's had surgery, which means he's out for the rest of the season. We will not see Ogbonna back until next season at the earliest, and even then we'll be lucky to see him back at the start of the actual season. So we're not going to be seeing him for a little while yet, Ogbonna. So now it's a case of what we're going to do in the centre-back area. And this was a little bit of an addition. You know, in the previous set of guns, I would have preferred to see Diop next to Zuma for two reasons. A, because of Wolves' pace, and B, because Diop is naturally a left-sided centre-back. Now, Zuma's played to the left of the centre-backs quite a bit under Frank Lampard for Chelsea. So I was sort of okay with seeing him next to Dawson. I thought, let's see how they get on. And I thought they were terrible. I thought individually and as a pairing, I thought it was really, really bad. Probably the poorest performance from a centre-back pairing at West Ham so far this season. And it just made me worried, if you like, between now and January. Because with the Ogbonna injury news, I thought, well, in January transfer window, perhaps we need a loan signing or something, just an extra body in there that's capable of playing some games at centre-back that just adds depth, because I felt that in Dawson, Diop and Zuma we still have three really good centre-backs. However, after yesterday's game, and I'm not having gone from that to that straight away, I'm sort of in the middle now. I'm back on the fence thinking, well, hang on, we need to... Gio needs to reevaluate this centre-back situation a little bit more, and perhaps the need for a centre-back in January is a bit more serious than what I first thought, because I wasn't very happy on Saturday, to be honest with you, and I felt that the lack of distribution from Fabianski and Dawson as a combination played a big part of why we got beat. I felt like we couldn't keep the ball very well, and listen, Fornals and Ben Ram in particular gave the ball away quite a lot in the final third, but I also thought we just gave away too much from our own third. You know, there was a 10-15 minute spell in the first half. It felt like we barely touched the ball. It felt like Wolves were just passing it around endlessly for 5-10 minutes. And we'd only get it back when they went out of play for a throw-in or a goal kick. And you were thinking, right, now we've got the ball, let's take the sting out of the game a little bit. And we just gave it straight back to them. Bang, down the park he went. And it was just a bit, you stand there watching the game thinking, what is going on? This isn't like the West Ham we've seen. And it just sucks the enthusiasm out of the crowd a little bit. I think by half time, everybody was thinking, well, the best thing about the first half, it can't be that bad in the second half. But it was a continuation, wasn't it? And I don't think the centre-backs got that much protection from what is in front of them. They had to be busy, but I just didn't feel they played very well. Just to interrupt my own video for a minute, would you like to know the Bundesliga centre-back that David Moyes is targeting? Perhaps you do, perhaps you should. Would you like to know which goal machine that West Ham and Liverpool are also scouting and perhaps going head to head for in January? Pretty sure you can work that one out for yourself, but hypothetically, would you like to know? And finally, do you know what meeting is taking place next month? No, you don't. Well, I'll tell you what meeting it is. It's a transfer meeting. David Moyes and the board are supposedly sitting down at the start of next month to go over the January transfer targets. How do I know this? Because it's all in the one football app, and you can get that football app as well. The link's in the description and the pinned comments, and it is completely free. Get it downloaded to your phone today. It'll say, what's your favourite team? You click West Ham, or another team if that is West Ham is not to your choosing. Then keep up to date with everything that you need to know, especially ahead of the January transfer window, because there's plenty of rumours, plenty of gossip, and it's all in this app. Get it downloaded today. And essentially, we've got to come up with, I think the next month and a half, we've got, between now and New Year's Day, we've got 12 games. We had 13 before, in 42 days. We've now got, 12 games in 38 days or something like that. So we play Crystal Palace on New Year's Day. So there's 12 games between now and including the Crystal Palace game. We've essentially got 12 games to work out if we have a centre-back pairing at the club. Can Dawson and Zuma, Dawson and Diop, or Diop and Zuma form what we would call the first choice centre-back pairing? Because Zuma and Ogbonna very much nailed that down in a very short space of time as well. Zuma only just arrived, and straight away him and Ogbonna, for the Brentford game, looked very, very good together, as did Dawson and Diop in Europa League. But I do think those fixtures in Europa League, I do think it was relatively easy for them to look good in. I'm always wary of players looking good in situations where it's quite easy to. Like Lanzini, I'm aware that this is a talking point. Let's just discuss him now. So basically, to round up the centre-back situation, we may need a left-sided centre-back in January. I didn't think we did. I thought we'd be okay. Now I'm not sure. And it's a case of 12 games to find out if we have a first choice pairing in that three and who it is, what is the pairing. Personally, I'd like to see the Diop Zuma thing tried when City's not the ideal game, is it? But we'll deal with that in the match previews. But the centre-back pairing gave me a little bit of a fright on Saturday against Wolves. Now, rolling on to that Lanzini situation, I thought he looked brilliant when he came off the bench against Wolves. Thought he looked really good, and not for the first time this season. Aston Villa, he came on against Aston Villa when I felt that Villa were on top a little bit, despite them being down to 10 men and us being a goal up. But Aston Villa looked the better team. And when Lanzini came onto the pitch, I thought he just got hold of the ball. He's better at retaining possession than probably anyone else in our team to some extent. And then against Wolves, he comes on the pitch and he just looked good. He got the ball and started moving it about a little bit. He was calming the game down, and I felt that when he was on the pitch on Saturday, West Ham were in control of the game. However, and this is why I'm a bit wary of the Dawson Diop success in the Europa League, if you like, is that it was easy for Lanzini to look good against Wolves. Or, I say easy, it was easier because there was a correlation between Wolves pressing West Ham, Wolves being on the front foot with Lanzini off the pitch, and then sitting back when Lanzini was on it. Because they scored a goal. They scored. And when they went 1-0 up, there was a difference in their sort of demeanour, their attitude and stuff. And why wouldn't there be? They're 1-0 up against team third in the Premier League. Of course they're going to want to protect the lead a little bit. They're going to take less risks. They're going to concede more ground. They're going to sit 5 yards deeper than what they already were. Why would they give Michail Antonio space to run into unnecessarily? They didn't have to. So they retreated a little bit, and it gave West Ham a bit of room. And at the same time, we're bringing Lanzini onto the pitch. Naturally, we're going to have more possession. However, with all that said and done, I still think he looked really good. In a game that was lacking quality from West Ham, it was lacking a player getting on the ball. I thought he came on and did that. And I thought he's just a lovely footballer to watch. I know it sounds really weird, and it's not really a blokey thing. Lovely isn't really a bloke word, is it? But anyway, I thought Lanzini, he's just a lovely footballer to watch. But like I said, however, the defeat, and sometimes you need this, sometimes you need excuses to change things, because it's hard to change a winning team. there's that myth in football. It is a myth, which is never change a winning team. It is a complete myth. Sometimes you have to change a winning side, but it is difficult. Just like Ben Johnson at the minute, Moyes was probably tempted to put Soufal back in when he came back, but how do you take Ben Johnson out and justify it after his performances? West Ham were winning. Easiest thing to do is leave Johnson in. Now we've been beat by Wolves. The manager now has an opportunity. It gives the manager an excuse, a reason to make 2 or 3 changes at first 11 if he wishes. I think we'll see a couple at the Etihad. I'm not sure Ben Johnson will play against City, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a change at centre back. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a change in midfield as well. Lanzini being that change. I think he deserves a start, and it's probably unfortunate for Lanzini that it's Man City next, because that is going to be a difficult game. But in a game with even less possession, sometimes you need a player like Lanzini that can just keep the ball for you for a little bit. But again, like the centre-backs, we'll deal with that in the upcoming match previews. Vienna preview tomorrow night. Now the last one is Antonio. Gonzo covered it yesterday as well. We spoke about it this morning when we did the player ratings video for the patrons. But I just wanted to sort of put it out there in case, well, so I can say I told you so if it happens. Nah, it is a talking point though, because he was awful. He was really, really poor on Saturday. Now, is that a result of the international break? And I don't like using the international break as an excuse for poor performances, because everybody has international breaks. I've heard Liverpool, I've heard Jurgen Klopp constantly blaming international breaks when things go wrong. I didn't hear him mention it yesterday when they thumped Arsenal, Saturday afternoon when they thumped Arsenal 4-0. He didn't seem too bothered by the international break then. But everybody has international breaks, everybody has players on international duty, and when you sign the players, usually they're already in the international setup. So take West Ham. When we signed Saïd Benrahma, we knew he plays for Algeria, we knew he'd be awaiting African Nations of Cup, so when it comes around in January, we can't really complain. Also, Wolves, I believe, a Wolves fan said this. I haven't looked it up, I probably should have. I'm taking the Wolves fan's word at face value here. They said he claimed that they had 9 of the first 11 on international duty. Now, if that's the case, they've already got more players away than what we did in our starting 11, because, well, 3 of our back 4 stayed at home. Ben Johnson, Aaron Caswell and Craig Dawson, Lucas Fabianski, none of them were on international duty. So it's sort of, they win already, I guess. So I'm not really keen on the international thing. However, when Michail Antonio has changed, it has changed a bit. It's not naughty of Antonio. When I spoke to Gonzo earlier, we were both on a similar wavelength, which is, I get it. I don't blame Antonio for wanting to play for Jamaica. I've always thought the World Cup is the pinnacle of a footballer's career. And as a Scotland fan, you know, if I had to, this won't be as popular on the West Ham channel, but hopefully some people can relate to this. If you had to choose between your country winning the World Cup or West Ham winning the Premier League, which would it be? I think I'd choose Scotland winning the World Cup. However, I would choose West Ham winning the Premier League or the FA Cup over Scotland winning the Euros, for example. So World Cup, club stuff, Euros, essentially. Right? Maybe the League Cup's down here somewhere, because no one's too bothered about the Carabao Cup unless you win it. But you know what I'm trying to say badly. But with the Michail Antonio thing, West Ham have done as much as they can, I think. You know, we've sent someone over with Antonio to Jamaica, club doctor. He's gone away with Antonio, make sure he's alright. We've paid for the private jet, which, you know, raised a lot of eyebrows, a lot of people thinking, you know, it's a bit expensive and stuff. And then one or two people made a very valid point, which is, especially at the minute, there's a big focus on carbon emissions and stuff. Is West Ham then putting on a private jet for one player to come back the best thing for the club? Probably not. But let's ignore all that to some extent for now. West Ham have done everything they can to get Michail Antonio back from international duty ASAP so he can play against Wolves. I think we can all agree on that. Whether you agree or disagree with we should have done it or not, I think we can agree the club have done everything they possibly can to make sure that Antonio is in the best condition on Saturday. And he was rubbish. He was rubbish. Is there a correlation between the two? Possibly. There probably is. And I think this changes the landscape again for the January transfer window. I think before Antonio was going to be featuring for his country, I think we needed a backup striker. Now, I hate that terminology because it suggests you're trying to sign someone crap. But I think what it does suggest is that you're trying to find a stopgap or someone cheap, a loan, a punt, something like that. Essentially, you're looking for another Ajeti that's going to work. A Hugo that's going to play. You're looking for something like that, aren't you? You're not going out and looking for an Adam Armstrong that's going to come into the team and starts playing and stuff like that. So I think what it does do, it keeps you in a certain pool cost-wise. That's all it is. But since Antonio has now pledged his allegiance to Jamaica, he's involved in the team, he pulled out the last internationals, but he's gone away for this one, and we've seen the performance of him at the Molineux, I think this might actually change how we prioritise a striker. I think, like I said prior, in the summer, I think we were probably looking for a backup striker, someone that could come in and just cover him, if you like, that might contribute a few goals here and there. But now I think it's different. I think now West Ham have to go out, and possibly should go out, and find someone to essentially put Antonio on the bench. And I know some people will say, well, hang on, Antonio's a top Premier League striker. So I'm not saying he's not. I am not disagreeing with that at all. I've tried to defend Antonio as much as possible. I've had debates on here with people who have come on when we did the top West Ham, come on and said he's not a striker. And I've tried to argue that he's a striker. He's scoring goals like a striker would score. So what more do you want? So it's not that I don't like him or anything. It's the situation. I don't like the situation. And that's not even taking into account that Antonio's got dodgy hamstrings as it is. So I think now, the type of striker, or so should I say the calibre of striker that West Ham were perhaps could be going to target in the transfer window, whether it's January or the summer, I think it's changed now. I think we need someone that is better than Michail Antonio. And I know someone will say, who? I don't know. I am not a football scout. I am just an opinionated Scotsman on the webcam. And my opinion is we need someone in so that if Antonio does play for Jamaica, and like I said, he should do. He should have an international career. He should go play at the World Cup for Jamaica. But there's consequences for a player and club, and that is we need someone that's going to play. So that next time, Will Sullivan, at the end of the day, Saturday, we didn't know how Antonio was going to get on with Jamaica. We had no evidence. We've got evidence now. It's only one game, but that's all we've got. And it was bad. It was really bad. And Moyes might have been stood on the touchline thinking, I needed a better striker than this. If I had a better striker, I'd sub him right now. But we couldn't. We had to play him. Sullivan would have probably been sat in the crowd thinking, well, I'm not paying this much money again. This is what I'm going to get. I think next time he goes to Jamaica, I think he might find himself on a Ryanair flight home rather than a private jet, and then that's going to cause some problems for the manager. But for West Ham, we can only go by the evidence that's in front of us, and one of the most important things in life is being willing to change your mind, willing to change your opinion when you receive new data. We've received new data on Saturday, which is he was a bit rubbish after international break. And I think that might just change how West Ham go about things in future in regards to targeting a striker. And like I said, in the summer I felt like we needed a backup. I always say we should be signing someone to compete with Michail Antonio, and I believe that, but we just haven't got the money, we haven't got the budget. Now, I don't think that's good enough anymore. Antonio was our undisputed number one striker, and he still is on paper because there's no one else there, and he deserves to be. But I don't think we can have that situation anymore. The situation that is that Michail Antonio starts every game because there's no competition for him was okay when he was only playing at West Ham, but now he's playing on international duty. Now he's going on long trips to play for his country. I'm not sure that is a situation I'm comfortable with anymore. Still number one striker at West Ham, but I don't like that undisputed tag, which it still is there, and it will be there until the transfer window opens again. But anyway, I'm going to shut up. Crikey, I've been talking for a long time. Apologies. But yeah, that's my 3 talking points from Saturday. Antonio, Lanzini back in the team, and the centre-backs are maybe a little bit uneasy, have to be said. But the good news is, I thought Fabianski was fantastic. I thought he had a really, really good game, which is good to see. If you've enjoyed me rambling on, drop a like on the video, subscribe to you. Myself and Gonzo will be back tomorrow night with the preview of the Rapid Vienna game. Catch you in a bit.